Market Morning Prep video for Tuesday, October 7th. Well, the market started off on the right foot early on in the pre-market session, then clearly just reversed course. As soon as the market opened, tagged the highs of the day, and that was it, and pretty much sold off until about 1 o'clock, and then we bounced and then kind of staggered into the close. So a pretty volatile session yesterday. Very choppy, though. The selling was but every time somebody was selling a market, it was met with buying. So not a very easy way to go sell the markets yesterday, but nonetheless there were some decent trades that looked like in the marketplace. So we had Dow Jones down almost 18 points, Nasdaq down almost 21 points, S&P down 3, and a Russell down 10. We are getting some weakness. We have some outside day reversals. Some of the key indices are below the 50-day moving average, like the transportation sector, and we're going to go through that. I want to show you the indexes. I'm not going to get into the indicators only because they bounced off their lows, and now we are down in the pre-market again. So let's see if we get that flush. And that's where I mentioned last week. I said I'd love to see the indicators really flush and get some sort of a washout, and we haven't gotten that. And that's why I think there's still some more selling to come. The selling wasn't easy. Even if you were looking for it, looking to get short, it wasn't easy at all. Because the markets were either gapping down 9, 10, 12 handles, and this morning we're down about 10. We had German output come out, and worse than expected, and now they're possibly talking recession again. So now we have some fears of recession. So not a pretty sight so far, but let's get into it. Let's take a look at what's happening here. Well, we talked about the dollar, and we had an explosive move here, and this is a weekly chart of the dollar, and you can see now. I mean, it's grossly overbought, and it's going to have to come back revision to the mean, and that's really what's happening. One day does not make a trend, obviously, but keep an eye on the crude oil. Keep an eye on ag stocks. As a matter of fact, we're coming into harvest season right now. I looked at the Traders Almanac. What's ripe for an oversold bounce, and those ag stocks are looking really good, such as an AGCO, a Potash POT, Monsanto MON, and of course the tractors such as John Deere DE and Caterpillar CAT. They're coming to seasonal strength to the end of the year, so they might be really due for a bounce. They've gotten beaten up like crude oil pretty much all summer long. I'm not sure if they're ready at the moment, but you have to keep them on your radar. Also, coal stocks, BTU, Walt Energy, they're great names here that you might want to take a look at, especially when you have, and I've been mentioning all week last week, if you have a weak dollar start to come in, at least pulling back to support, you can get a decent bounce in this sectors, as I mentioned. Okay, now let's take a look at the ES. As you can see, the ES now is below. We had a clear reversal candle on Friday. Yesterday we got that confirmation, so it looks like we're headed lower, at least to test the lows from last week. And then, of course, this pivotal low here, I'm going to be taking a close eye on at the moment. So this is the area that I'm looking for a first quick target. Now, you can see on the hourly chart, we identified that head and shoulders pattern. We had met our target, and now we are in a clear downtrend channel, lower lows and lower highs. We're back in it again. So if the markets were to break down and take out yesterday's low, I'm looking at a 1922 test again. Okay, so that's something that we'll be watching in the coming days. Diamonds did not quite get below the 50, but it's basically clean air. You can see that clear reversal. So the indices are in trouble, not looking so good. And as you can see, the sentiment has changed when everything was, everything was good, bad was good news. Markets didn't care; they kept buying them. Now buyers at dips are really nowhere to be found here. A little bit of buying, you get a little bit of short covering because I believe the shorts probably thinking, is this really for real? And now they're starting to lean a little bit more aggressively as every time the markets has some sort of a bounce here. And you can see that clearly in the price action during the day. Russell, what can you say, is the canary in the coal mine. I mentioned that many times. You can see this nice little rounding top here. Even if you wanted to call little head and shoulders, we caught that 61.8%, capped that. And now 108, we hit our target on the Russell. Now we have to be careful because if we start breaking down and break below 108, I think the Russell's going to take everything down with it. So let's just keep that in mind and be very careful. Watch what the Russell's doing intraday because that is going to give you some clues as to where the indices are going. Now the transports, I think the transports are in trouble yet again. We are now below. Look at this clear reversal, outside day reversal we had. We popped higher, and now we just So taking out yesterday's low, I think you get to the bottom of the channel, and then ultimately will be this little low here. This is definitely a local low here. As you can see, we tested it twice and we held. Let's see if it holds it again. If that does not hold, then of course that 200 is going to come into play. Okay, and then lastly is going to be the Qs. The Qs didn't do too bad because Apple was pretty much up yesterday, so that created a real choppy price action. Okay, but let's keep an eye on what I'm showing you today, guys, for this week, because we're looking for. I'm looking for some further downside here, and if we break down today and we close either near lows or at the lows or significantly, I'm going to start putting some downside targets into play on the indices, and then we'll get a full recap of all of the indicators. Watch crude oil today. Again, watch those ag stocks. They're coming into some play, some seasonal play here with the harvest season. And then, of course, that dollar. If the dollar starts to roll over and really starts to sell off, you're going to get a nice big jump in crude oil and, of course, some of the grains and possibly even gold, believe it or not. Okay? So that might be a big play going into the next couple of days here into the trading day. All right, have a great day, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Take care.